want to welcome you all to our monthly President's Sharing session. Now it's a President and President-elect sharing session. The purpose of these are just extra time for us to collaborate, to talk through some things that maybe are in your mind, and really just to bounce ideas and to brainstorm. So we've set these up. They are pretty successful. So just want to make sure that we allow you all time to come together. It doesn't stop at conference. Rolling back to conference, one of the things before we get into any questions, I want to open up the floor for any takeaways in regards to conference, things that would enlighten you, things you still may have questions, things you'd like to share.
Well done,
Oh, hi, Bruce.
Lucia.
I'll share one of the nuggets that I learned from the Leadership Lounge that I want to find out more about is the certification for accounting professionals. Dawn had mentioned that is a program that might come around and something that I find super useful. So, do you have any more information on that, Alicia?
I currently don't. I know that it's in the early stages, my understanding of being, developed and everything. So I have not received any information to what all that entails, but I will definitely follow up to see if there's anything additional I can give you. And if not, I'll continue to keep my eyes peeled and make sure that we communicate when those details are available to you all as soon as possible.
And
Awesome.
And
and
I'm
I'll
Thank you.
sorry, I
jump
don't have a
in.
better answer.
Yeah, I'll jump in. I know at conference they were collecting a lot of data around those micro credential pieces. So it might be a little bit of time. I know this is something that's just at the very beginning stages of concept and what that's going to look like. So again, there's probably going to be a task force assigned to it, but that's the path that we're looking to get and go down.
Love that. Thank you.
Bruce, I saw you did come off mute. Did you have anything you want to add?
My only comment was the convention was well done, start to finish.
I love
So,
to hear that. It's
yeah,
I concur.
Agreed.
It's fabulous. Great.
always a lot happening, so definitely
yeah.
appreciate that. It's always a good conference. Only my third one, which is wild to think about, but I definitely enjoyed my time. Anyone else have anything they'd like to add?
I'm a
I
little
just
Any-
disappointed you
apologize
guys
for the
couldn't get rid of the
seaweed.
rain.
Oh.
I heard, I'm not sure. I heard Diana, I heard you, and I'm not quite sure who the second person is. But Diana, I'll kick it off to you, and then George, was it you that will need to go next?
I was going to say that the Wednesday leadership development workshop was outstanding.
Thank you.
And all I wanted to say is that as the host chapter, we apologize for all the seaweed. We don't know what happened with all that seaweed and the weather. We don't usually have that kind of weather in Fort Lauderdale. I mean, in our area at that time, and all that seaweed is unusual. Everyone's talking about it. So I apologize to all of you for that.
Diana, I didn't even get to see the water, unfortunately, except for at a distance. So by the time I was walking back, I was like, dang, maybe I need to just go put my toe in the sand. I was like, no, I'm going back to the room.
You
Maybe
couldn't,
another time.
you could not even have ventured over there. It was that awful, the seaweed. I could not believe how bad it was. It's
I'm
terrible.
fine. If I didn't get to enjoy it, no one does.
Yeah. Yeah. Just feel okay about that because it was weird.
Anyone else? Are there any other lingering questions for those of you who attended our chapter leadership development workshop before I ask my next point? Okay.
I just want to also say that I thought it was very well done. Joyce is our president in our chapter, and she does obviously a phenomenal job. And she also did a great job giving me insight as to what to expect. So that was very helpful. I've been at National several times. Sorry, I've been to Florida 3 times and twice it's poured the entire week. So I don't know what it is about me in Florida with National, but I'm glad we're going out to Vegas next year. Be careful, it might rain. But it was a great week. You all the facilitators did a marvelous job. There were a lot of us, and I think you all did a a phenomenal job. So thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you, Jane. We appreciate that. But something you did says uh, is a nice segue into my next point. I know we had our past presidents panel, so I wanted to see if we can kind of piggyback a little bit off of that, since we do have you all in here with the current presidents. If there's anything that you would like to seek out insight or continue to pick the brains of those who are in the roles that you will be in this time next year.
Yes.
George, go ahead.
So since we're halfway through the year, suggestions on what the president elects, if there's like a schedule or what should we be doing month by month going down to the end of the year in order to hit the ground running, say January 1st. I know one thing was mentioned at the workshop was, do we all know where our policies are? If we had to get them right now, are they available at our fingertips? And thankfully, our CED is currently working on that. So, what should we be doing as a countdown going forward?
And I know that varies per chat according to the chapter. Would anyone like to jump in and kind of give what your, oh, Candace, I see you, like your first 90 days, what that sort of looked like?
Yeah, so I am currently president of the Washington Metropolitan Chapter. And one of the things I did actually before I went to conference last year as the president-elect was I already had my strategic plan and my goals already done so that I could add to the conversation during a conference. After conference, I basically whittled some down. I sent it actually to Kelly and Alicia and the team to say, am I crazy or what? And they were like, yes, you are. You need to whittle this down a little more. So I did. And I presented that to my board as, you know, these are the goals going into the next year, any changes. And then from there, went and created basically a delegation map of, okay, here's the goals, here's the committees that need to execute these goals so that we're all working together. They know what we're expecting from them. And we even put that out for the call for nominations. So it essentially was what I wanted for committee chairs, well, new board members coming in and those wanting to serve as a committee chair, because we put out a call for nominations for committee chairs as well, was basically when you come in, you're going to have to get on board with what the plan is. This is the plan. This is where we're going. And so January 1st, it's execution. We're executing the plan that was already approved and reviewed, you know, budgeted for, and it is really on the executive director and the chapter staff and the committees for executing. So at this point, really now it's kind of like just giving updates on where we are with the goals. There's not a lot of work from the president position. I've seen past presidents spend a lot of hours and a lot of time during their terms. I didn't want that. I don't want to have to do that. I have an actual paid full-time job that I do. And I knew I was going to be busy with that. So I would recommend over the next 30 to 60 days is come up with your goals, make sure they're realistic, share them with your executive director first, and then maybe national. They may get changed, and then figure out a plan for execution on who's going to be doing and serving and what. Another thing that we did last year was we put an administrative calendar together. So the president at the time and me, the president-elect, and the executive director put together an administrative plan that actually laid out what we were doing each month and when. It included when contracts were going to be terminated and needed to be reviewed. And so once we did that, we don't have monthly board meetings anymore. So we're meeting every other month. And so making sure that you have a strategy in place. I like to take cruises, so that was kind of a selfish plug there. But it's creating the strategy so that when you step in, you already have the plan. That would be my recommendation.
Thank you.
Thanks, Candace. Diane, I saw your hand first, and then Michelle, I'll put it over to you, and I think I got another hand as well. So Diana?
Thank you. Thank you, Alicia. Yes, Candace, I agree what you did. We did similar. As president-elect, I met with my current president that year, and after conference, well, actually, we did it in after July because we also had a meeting that I don't know if we're doing this year, where all of the presidents, president-elects, and chapter executive directors met in Tampa last year for Florida. So I don't know if we're doing that. And then I put together my goals, my plan, so that I could go through it with my CED, my president, current president, and then we got through that. We created our calendar for the year. We also met with our committees and chairs and any interested members in person so that we could share with them all about being a committee member, and that moves you on to leadership so that you could then get to learn more about CAI. We wanted to give them that background so they understand and kind of feel them out for future leadership roles. And that's how we got new chairs. We did all of that so that when January 1st kicked in, which by the way, for us, January is when my last event is of 2027 for our chapter, because we moved our golf tournament to January. So that's the last event that will work under me as president. But everything is pretty much done. So it was so much smoother, easier to have the events. And like Candace said, where I could still do my business, and all of the tasks were being executed by the committees that were responsible, and also our executive director and however, I believe we have an assistant. It's not, I believe we do, a virtual assistant that helps us with our stuff too. So it really helped set up the year. And then by the time we got to strategic planning, we had everything set up so that our calendar was done, and all we had to plug in may have been locations or moving certain things around and adding something. So we added a couple things this year that we didn't think about last year, like a pool safety class with the city of Fort Lauderdale, which was actually a statewide pool safety class, and giving all the new rules and regulations. So few things that we added were still smooth, and we were able to have the stress-free planning of the chapter party that we hosted for all of you who attended our chapter party. We started working on that, just so if you ever want to do that, in our Vegas team that I spoke to also when I was at annual conference, we started working on ours in July of last year. That's where we selected the venue, booked the venue, and then continued on and so forth. So it was very smooth. This year has been a very smooth year for education, for events, and we finished one event, we're ready for the next, but we've already got everything in motion and next on the list. So it's like a very smooth process. So I do recommend that you do that, because it worked for us as well.
Nice. I love when I hear that chapters are saying, "Oh, in June we had a smooth year." That means you all got in alignment quickly. So that's always refreshing to hear. Michelle?
Thank you. So along the same lines, I'm the president-elect for the Chesapeake chapter, and Val, our executive director, and I have already had many conversations and planning sessions. And of course, we'll have our board retreat in September to lay out all the plans and goals for next year. But from this group, I'm wondering, so one of our goals is to increase engagement with our homeowner leaders. They make up a large percentage of our membership, but their involvement is extremely small and limited with regard to volunteering for committees or attending our events or education sessions. So if any of you have tips or secrets that you can share on how you get your homeowner leaders more engaged and more involved, I would love to hear that.
We put together a homeowner leader task force last year to review they had a specific agenda that was given to them as to what we thought as a chapter was needed. The homeowner board leaders that were currently serving on the board, one of them is actually a politician. And so he was more in alignment with the way managers think and business partners think. And so it was a little difficult to he'd been doing it for so long, like his vision of what homeowners needed was a little bit of out of alignment. And so we had our two homeowner volunteers actually lead that task force together. The other one worked with developers, a lot of developers. And so he too was like, well, I think we need this. I'm like, but we need actual homeowner volunteers that only go to their board meetings or their community meetings and not actually in the business. So there was we put a call out. Our chapter, I'm sure your chapter as well, has access to emailing only the homeowner membership. So we put a call out to the homeowner membership. We got some really good interest. And so they worked on what the request was that we put out, which was coming up with education topics and sessions and doing a survey to the membership as well, along other things. They were supposed to report back, and then we realized we needed a standing committee. So we actually dissolved the task force and made them a homeowner leader working group as a subgroup of our community engagement committee. And so they can continue on and they're not set by a determined project. It's just now they have overall goals and they constantly have to report back by a certain date before budget season to tell us this is what the homeowners are looking for the coming year to help us prepare.
Thank you, Candace.
David, would you like to add something?
Actually, Candace just answered my question. Sorry about that.
That's a good thing.
Thank you.
That's a good thing. I think it's important to always remember, with your homeowners, their reasoning for joining is very different. With your managers and your business partners, that's their career. That's their bread and butter. That's how they live. With homeowners, they more likely they want to love where they live. So the messaging and the engagement is going to look different because they're not a part of the industry in that aspect. So I definitely recommend, and I've recommended this to other chapters. Ask them what works for you. What are you interested in? What times work for you? Because you don't know what type of jobs they may have, and maybe 10 a.m. on a Friday does not work for them. Or you may have those with younger families, and school drop-off times conflict with that. So those are things to take into consideration, especially with engaging with homeowners. Anyone else have anything they'd like to add for that specific topic?
I
Throw out there?
think our biggest challenge in that area is that, our managers and management firms are signing up their homeowner leaders and their associations. And most of the communication we do is through email. And most of the time, those homeowner leaders, when they're signed up, the email address that is provided to us is for that of the manager or the management firm. So our communication, no matter how targeted or unique for that group, isn't going actually to the homeowner leader. So if, I don't know what other chapters do. Do you require that they provide a different email address, or that they provide the actual email address for the homeowner leader, so that we're getting our communication directly to those members of our chapter?
Michelle, that is exactly the concern that we have as well in our chapter, because if they sign up, if like a legal counsel or a management company like automatically includes membership to CAI as part of their contract, or their, it's something they do for the association, they don't understand it. They don't even know what CAI is. You call, they don't even know they're what's CAI, and again, the retention doesn't always happen because they're not receiving those communications, as you said, because it's a management email, or it's their board email, and now they're not on the board. So if it's not an individual person's email, like for example, I'm the president of my association, I have my own email that belongs to me, but it's strictly used for my association, right? It's for a board business. So you can reach me, but if you have one that says president at, and the next president comes in, they may not know what CAI is, or maybe that email is no longer valid. So those are some ants that we have, inks that we have as well. I have tried to wrap my brain around solutions, and I cannot find a good solution except to make sure that you The only thing we can do is if there's a phone number or a manager that's there, or then you contact them and try to get it. But it really is however they sign them up. And we have no control of how they sign them up and what emails they use and what phone numbers. We'll find that there's one email for 15 board members, or as much as we try to get the individual board members, or there's one phone number for all of them, and it's the management company, and they're like, oh geez, Diana, we don't manage that association anymore. They fired us or whatever. So those are the questions. Those are the what we need to try to solve, and I don't know how. So if anyone can figure out a better way to do this, that is going to be very helpful to us because we also have that issue.
David, I saw you first, and then Terry, you can go next.
Yeah, thank you. This topic's like really important to me because we're really trying to ramp up homeowner leader engagement. So, a couple of things that came up here that came to mind for me is you had mentioned, Alicia, that homeowner leaders might have things going on and conflicts with certain schedules, and then it made me think of the tool, the survey tool that we're all going through all the chapters across the country, and we're looking at the data behind engagement at different events, what types of events, when they're being held, and all of those things. Does that survey tool have the ability to separate the homeowner leader class to tell us like which events were across the country were most valuable and best attended for that segment of our membership?
That might be a Kelly question. Hoping. Oh, ooh, she came off
I'm
mute.
not, you, can you hear me? Oh,
Yep.
A little bit,
sorry.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. Our internet went out. We had a bad storm and it's still down. So it's not the best connection. Um, yes. The simple answer is yes. We can do that data and see where homeowners are attending. We have specific questions around homeowners, specifically certain courses that are geared towards them. So the simple answer is yeah, we will be able to dive deeper.
Okay, when do you expect that data might be available for use throughout the chapters?
We're hoping by end of summer. We still have about 40% of chapters that need to complete that. So please check with your executive directors, everyone on this call. If they have not completed the survey, please encourage them to take some time to do so.
Awesome. I'm really excited about that tool. I think it's going to be very helpful. Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly. Terry, you're up.
Had an idea for outreach to the boards, especially if you don't have their correct contact info. What if you reached out to the management company or attorney or whoever's contact info you had and ask for 5 minutes at their next board meeting and then send a representative from CAI, not as a business partner or a management company or whatever, just as a CAI representative to say, thank you for joining our chapter, just in case you don't know what CAI is, these are the resources we have for you. Please provide us with your correct contact information so we can get this information to you and just make it really quick because they're busy and they don't want a lot of time taken up in their meeting. But then the chapter is connecting directly to those homeowner leaders during a time when they're meeting. Just thought, I don't know if anybody's done that before.
Great idea. Thank you. That's a good idea. I didn't think about that. It's a good one.
That's a great thing for the task force that Candace was talking about.
Mhm.
It's definitely a good idea. Kelly also put in the chat to as a reminder, if we see duplicate emails and things, or email addresses, if our member services team, they reach out to try to get individual email addresses. I know I've had them help me to do that as well. So they'll do that outreach. And we do encourage if there are any email contact information changes that they let us know. That information is in the chat. Address changes at caionline.org. Just let them know there. They do a pretty good job of trying to stay on top of it, but we got a lot of members, so it's kind of hard. Uh, Beth, I see you have your hand raised. Might have been an accident. Okay. Let's see. You would have to come off mute if you do. You're still showing you're on mute, Beth, if you did want to speak. Oh, there you go.
Sorry, I apologize. I'm doing this from my phone and I realize I don't know how to come off mute. Anyway, sorry. My name my name is Beth Gazes. I'm the president-elect for the Long Island chapter. And what the issue that we seem to have is that the email addresses that are provided to us for the board members, when the management companies sign them up for membership, they're not putting in the board members' email addresses. They're putting in their own work email address at the management company. So we have a long list of members that we actually can't directly reach. And I don't know if that's something that National can help us with, or maybe change a policy on that. Did my question make sense?
Yes, it did. It did. Common issue, it seems like that we've been having across the board right here. So yeah. I'm sorry, I'm trying to look at the chat and make sure I don't miss anything as well. It's a lot going on in there. Yes, if your chapter is doing outreach to get their email address, please make sure the updates are shared with our member service team. We also do still email out Common Ground every other month. So as long as we have an address, they're getting that they're getting physical mail. So it's just more so staying in communication the best we can. And I know I've helped a chapter for a board. I've called each individual person to get correct stuff and the managers. So is it tedious? Yes, but we're happy to help and do what we can on our end as well. And just encourage those managers when you're signing up, please, we want them to have the good member experience of being a part of CAI. Them not being communicated with, that takes away from that. So if they're members of CAI, then they should understand that they're not getting the full experience if you can't communicate with them properly. So
Well,
just
so is there a way to change your policy and say, look, we're not using care of emails anymore. If the person is signed up as a member, we need an email so we can directly communicate with them. Is that something
The
CAI can do?
I would
yes
have
and
that.
no.
Oh,
I would say
okay.
yes and no. So virtually, yes. If they're signing up in our virtual space, yes, we have a block on that. That we need individual email addresses. Um, but a lot of our homeowner membership still comes in on a paper form. So we can only do so much. And then when we contact the manager and they go, no, process the payment, we'll either follow up or we'll provide this at another time. That's where we get into roadblocks. So do we want to take the chance of saying, no, we're not going to accept your membership. We're refunding a check payment and not accepting this because you're not giving us the list of your 10 board members? Or yes, we will process through and we will try to work with the manager to get those paper applications processed. So there's that give and take with it of, yes, we are trying to do that, and virtually we can put that block on it. Unfortunately, a lot of the homeowner memberships are still done in that paper format. They want that paper format. They want to send a check payment in, and we are meeting our members where we're seeing that need. We don't want to fully take that away yet. We
Mm-hmm.
still see that happening. And so while it's a frustration across the board, I think doing a group effort is probably the best way for that. If you're seeing that, you're seeing it happening, if they're coming to events, ask them for it. Maybe touch base with the manager and explain that they're not getting the information to get the most out of their membership. Again, our member services team is following up where we see, only the manager's email is listed, or it's at said management company versus president at association ABC. So again, we're trying our best from our member services side too, but if you've got a membership team or people who are also reviewing those lists, or you go, hey, I know Matt at that manager, I'm going to have a discussion and connect with them specifically to try to help alleviate that. But I will say on the digital side, if that email address already lives in our system one time, it blocks it. And so it does ask for a different email address because all of our logins are connected to an email address. So those have to be unique and individual.
So maybe my executive director can send you the list of the missing email, that with the I'm going to refer to them as missing email addresses, and then maybe you could help her. Is that possible?
I mean, potentially our member services team can work through that. Again, we've got
Okay, good.
43% of our membership is homeowner leaders, so I don't want to make that promise if I don't know how many that is, but that's definitely something that our member services team can look into.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
All right,
But I do also
Diana.
recommend
Oh,
if you've got membership committees, that's a great task to connect
Mhm.
with them as well and to try to help from that local level because you are the ones who really have that connection to the homeowner leaders locally. So again, that might be a good task to put forward if you've got that membership committee.
Yeah. That's why we're at the yeah. Yes. Okay, thank you.
So one of the things that that I have done is that I will go to the actual homeowners association to see what has happened. And sometimes it's that it's changed and they went from one system to another system. So we update that. I send those updates. And then when we as our membership committee gets together, we do our blitzes, we will send all those emails and update them to the association because we can usually get one person's email or one person's phone number, even if it's the office. And then from there, we ask them to give us the others. But yes, those are all the personal touches, as Kelly brought up, that your membership committee will do. And when you do these membership blitz and you have your script, we're getting ready to do one in July for us. We wanted to wait till after conference because we were a little busy. So we're doing our next membership blitz and we will do all that. Also, when I sign up an association, when I bring them in, I will meet with them in person to sign them up, and we ask them to give us this information and explain why. Why? Well, the why for me is advocacy and also all of the benefits that they get through national of being in these groups that are related, just homeowner groups that they can participate in. And if they're not getting those emails, they're not able to participate. Some of them don't even know that they have an account that they can create. So there's all of those things, but you can fix all of that. It just, as Kelly said, it does take time from the chapter because national doesn't know our clients, our members. We do. So someone on the board, someone in our membership knows that member. So you can get that done that way. That's the only other way. And this is the same thing that we have to do for membership for business partners. So our business partners also have that situation where they move around from one company to the other or get promoted, and they're the person listed and no one pays attention to that email anymore because they don't know about it because the person that was heavily involved has either been promoted or has moved to a different company. So we need to always look at those and update those too because you're thinking that they're reaching them and they're not. And then they say, I don't get anything, Diana, from your chapter. It's because it's not going to them. It's going to their business marketing person or sometimes to their accounting department that pays the invoice. And whoever started it may not be there. So things to look at also are that with your business partner, updating those lists too, who the contact is.
very good point. Anyone else? I think this was a good question to. Oh, George, I see you.
Yes, so I've been off the board a couple of years at my HOA here. However, last year's president and this year's president, I'm the point of contact with HQ with regards to the membership roster. We have now 12 members of our HOA here on there. And also Lawrence was a great help from member services and even provided information that was shared to the 12, the other 11 members, how they can manage their account, opt in, opt out. So having a point of contact for each HOA or COA board uh, may be the best way or an easy way if we can find a person in a particular HOA as a homeowner leader And if the board and the CAM don't mind, that person could be the point of contact just the same way as I am for my HOA. And it works out very well. It's less work for the board, and the CAM still gets the invoice as well as I do. Just a thought.
Thank you, George. Anyone else? Anything to add to this topic? All right. I will move back down. Were there any additional questions that you all wanted to talk through and to garner any insight from? Still recovering from conference, some of you?
I want to ask about leadership retreat. So in our state, our chapters get together for a leadership retreat, and I know that other states have a similar setup. And so just inquiring, are your chapters, for the ones who have it, are all of the chapters in the state sharing the burden of risk? Is there a mutual an MOU amongst them that signed, or is it one chapter that is responsible for the contracts and the financials and all of that? We're going to be revamping some things, and so I just wanted to get some ideas.
I'm looking through the list, trying to see if I see any of those chapters on, aside from Florida.
Can you go into detail, Candace, about this retreat that you're talking about?
Oh, yeah, maybe that will help. So our chapters get together. We have four chapters. Three of the chapters, the membership get together. There's an actual committee, and made up of the executive director at the chapters, along with two appointed members from each chapter that make up this committee. And we basically once a year go away to a resort that's pretty out of the way. It's not in a location where anybody can just wake up and come to, go back home and come back. And that's done for a reason, to really sequester people away, get them to stay there and get engaged. At this retreat, there are education sessions that are given, but more at a leadership level. So recognizing the attendees there need to be lifted up into leadership roles. So the training sessions are really focused on trying that type of engagement. That's really the purpose. There is a mini expo and trade show. There are that the vendors who sponsor get to purchase and set up tables. And then it's usually about 4 days. And we do it in July. So for example, it'll be the last Monday to Wednesday in July that our next one is happening. But yeah, it's really just about engagement and connection. It's done at the Omni Homestead Resort that has a lot of different activities. So there's like a group that goes out golfing, but it's really bonding, connecting, and bringing memberships from various chapters together, even though we are all in the same state. And yeah.
Thank you.
As far as I know, in the past, I know Texas does it. I could get with Jesus and ask him more of so execution. I'm not quite sure what that looks like at that level. We don't have a lot. I mean, Florida, California, and then our Virginia, you are the main ones, I believe, that kind of do that type of thing. Um, but I can see, as far as execution, what that looks like. Or have any pointers. I have a check-in with some of them actually coming up. So I can circle back and ask some filler questions for you, Candace, and circle back to you.
Thank you
And
so much.
I would say, Candace, you guys are probably at the top end of this with this type of event. Um, and the execution and involvement from that way. So I'm not sure if there's going to be a lot of others that will have, that
Okay.
direct feedback. I know there might be a similar style program on a much smaller scale that, two chapters are involved in, but it started with one chapter, the other chapter kind of linked in with it to get involvement. So I think you guys are probably functioning at a higher level than most of the other events that are similar to this style.
Got it. Okay, well, whatever information you guys have, happy to hear it. Thank you.
If you can give me till sometime next week by Thursday, I will try to.
That's fine.
Okay.
No, we need it today.
Well, 1:11 on a Friday.
Candace, could
He
you
may
send
he
her?
may not answer my phone calls at this time on a Friday.
Alicia, I was
Candace,
curious.
could you put the link to the VLR website or the webpage in the chat, and then Alicia can take a look at that. That would probably answer a lot of her questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
On that.
Yeah, we'll do.
Diana?
Alicia, I just was curious, and Kelly, is this what we did last year where the chapters got together in Tampa? Is that what kind of we did on a small, not a high, that type of level of going away and golfing, but if that's what we're talking about, where we got together
No,
and discussed,
it is
no,
not.
no, because
No,
that was
no.
very beneficial.
This
That what we did there, I think was very good. That I believe had to
this
do with,
is geared to the membership. So this is a membership education, not a chapter
got it.
leadership style
Okay,
retreat, which I do
understood.
know a lot of chapters do that as well. I see a couple on the call that do similar of that leadership style retreat across the line. So I think that's the difference, is this is geared towards membership.
Okay, so I would definitely like information on this. This does sound very interesting to do something like that. That sounds interesting. So I'd love to know if anyone wants to share, what their chapters have done. And I think I'd like to bring that back to our chapter.
And I dropped the link in the chat, so you're more than welcome to look at it. You're more than welcome to come. We'd love to sell out. But yeah, so it's if you guys find out, that'd be lovely.
Thanks, Candace. Anything else? Are there any other questions you'd like to throw out to the group? I have a couple of things on mine. Bruce, go ahead. Are you still on mute? Still on mute. I see your mouth moving, I think, and I saw your hand go up. There we go.
Sorry. I could hear myself. We were told a few months ago to hold off on updating our governing documents because National would be updating theirs, which obviously would affect ours. Do we know status of Nationals?
Is
Did we
Joyce
find out status?
on the is Joyce on the call? Joyce, I know she's been a part of the committee from the board side of things. So I don't know if Joyce, if you want to give the first part of the update, and then I can give the second part.
We haven't really updated our governing documents. We are doing a strategic plan for the next 3 years from 27
The
to
bylaws.
30.
I think he's
And the bylaws,
I think it's
we have been
yes.
updating. If he's talking bylaws, yes, we're working on that. We haven't quite finished. We have a meeting this week and it's on the agenda again to do some final approvals. I know the bylaws committee is we're kind of done and we've turned everything over to staff to do some review and then present to the Board of Trustees. I'm not sure if this will be the last time we have to vote on a section because we've been doing it little by little because one change can affect several areas of bylaws. So it should be done soon. We're ready to close out this task force. It's been going on for over 2 years now, but it's been a big job. So hopefully you'll hear more information really soon, especially after we make some improvements and approvals this week coming up.
And I was referring to the bylaws. Kelly was right.
Yep. Perfect. So once the board finalizes those, then we will start our task force. So again, we're kind of working on the timeline that this is going to happen in the fall. And then we take those and we look at our past model bylaws and we'll then work with the task force to make sure those are in alignment. So we use both chapter leaders and chapter executive directors for that task force. So again, we'll do that call from the Board of Trustees. I would say the process from last time, it would most likely we would be asking 2027 that these would be updated at the chapter level. You have a sector that really does need to be updated. Please go ahead and do that. Make sure that you're sending it over to us for approval before the board approves any of the changes. But if there is something that needs to be done, please go ahead and make sure that that's being updated correctly and beneficially for the chapter.
I think some parts you got cut out. I see there was a comment. I heard some of it, but I know hopefully I summarized this correctly. If there's some parts of your bylaws that need to be updated sooner rather than later, we're encouraging you to do that now. Just be sure you send it over to us to look at before you do your board approval and whatnot. 2027 is when we are hoping to have this implemented across all the chapters with the changes that are currently being discussed. Kelly, did I summarize that from what I heard correctly?
That sounded pretty good to me, Alicia. I was listening to
Okay.
both of you.
Okay, cool.
Pretty close.
I thought I got the most of it. Well,
You
hopefully I got the
did.
important parts. Okay, cool.
You did.
We don't want to lead anyone astray.
Alicia, if we updated our documents recently, do we have to redo them again to match yours? Is it something that, because we kind of matched ours to what you did have, or Kelly? So should we be considering looking at this new revision of the documents and try to incorporate it in ours and do another update? Is that what we should be looking at now and putting in our agenda?
Right now, unless there's something that you've seen, well, we probably need to talk and we may need to make some changes as long as it aligns with our current model chapter bylaws, then
It
you're
does.
fine. Okay.
Okay.
Now, once our trustees, they have made the changes and rolled that down to us. Of course, we have that mandatory and flexible language. You will need to do a comparison to make sure you're still in alignment,
Okay.
and go from there. But as
So
of now, if there's nothing specific that, oh, we really have an issue with X,
No.
Y, Z, we need to change this now, then we recommend you going ahead and making those changes and still keep in mind that there will be some changes coming down the line from the board of trustees.
Okay, that's something I'd like to share with my board that, because our documents are currently aligned with
Yes.
national. However, I want to let them know we're going to have to do this comparison and perhaps update ours so that we're aligned again. Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome. All right. Any additional questions? We're coming up on the end of this session, about 10 minutes left to go. If not, I want to remind everyone that it is International Community Association Managers Day. Make sure I get that acronym correct tomorrow. So to all you managers, congratulations. Thank you for all that you do. The party doesn't stop on Saturday. We're encouraging you all to continue to celebrate yourselves, your coworkers, your chapter members throughout the week. Things kind of get lost on Saturdays, but please feel free to make your post online and tag us. We want to see how you're celebrating, especially at the chapter level. If you've got any cool social media videos or pictures or anything that you're going to be rolling out, please make sure you tag us. We'd love to see that. And again, just congratulations and thank you for all that you do. Down with the heart. Also, let's see, from me, I did mention a survey. I'm going to put that into the chat. President-elect, if you could be sure you take that for us, that would be greatly appreciated. We want to make sure that we continue to offer you all development that is relevant and timely, and also that is beneficial to you all. So please be honest. We've heard great things, and if all you have to say are great things, then great. Diana?
No, I just wanted to thank you, National, for the conference. All of you, you did a very good job, the entire team. Everything was well done. And then I want to thank everyone that attended our chapter party, and thank you for supporting us. We are really happy to have seen you in our neck of the woods here in South Florida. It was the first time we've had the national conference in South Florida, so we were very honored to be able to host you. And again, thank you for all of your support to our chapter with this conference. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure you are happy you can breathe easy now that that's behind you. So, well, we appreciate you taking good care of us, and the party was great. Right. Any other things? Lawrence, Kelly, you have anything you need to add? Nope, good to go. Good deal. All right. Well, I guess I can give you 8 minutes back in your day. That's always a great thing on a Friday. Again, happy to see some of you all again and see some of you all more recently. So that's always a pleasure. And, if you need anything, please feel free to reach out to the chapter relations department. We're always happy to help. And again, just thank you for all you do. Thank you for volunteering and thank you for being engaged. We truly appreciate it. And I hope that you have a great rest of your day and a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Good to see you
Bye.
all.
Bye, everybody.